Hey everyone, hopefully you're having a good day. My name's Andy. My channel's Finding Value. Today we're going to go over our daily technical analysis of uranium. Again, one of my favorite sectors. I think it's a fuel of the future, nuclear. It's a bridge fuel to hopefully something bigger and better like fusion or something like that. But the world will wake up to what fission has to offer, and it's emissionless safety and high energy dense source of fuel. So I'll dive in here. I'll do some technical analysis, give you my financial opinion. Please don't use it as advice. And we're going to go in here and I'll give you my opinion. So the Sprott Physical Uranium Trust, we've broken out. We have these small little down days. Is this a continuation pattern to the upside? Most likely, yes. We could see a small little pullback, perhaps, but I think eventually it's just going to resolve itself in a upward direction, not straight up. But it could cycle, like this, up and like that. Something on the lines of that. Maybe not exactly that way, but I think it'll cycle up over time. URNM getting a little bit of a down day. This is a bearish engulfing pattern, engulfing the one before it. We could pull back a little bit. We could have a little bit of a pullback, and we'll have to see what that pullback looks like if we get one, to see if the buyers are still in control for a move higher. So we'll see what happens. Bannerman, and usually when you see these, you'll either get bearish engulfing patterns if we're going to get a pullback. That's what we just saw here in URNM, or we see a contraction in the opening and closing prices, where the candlestick body gets smaller. This one is smaller. It doesn't mean that we're going to pull back a huge amount. It just means that we have the momentum kind of slowing down. So we had a big momentum day here. This is a bullish engulfing, small little kind of bloody nose. What I say by bloody nose, it's a big candlestick, and then we get a small little down day next to it. And we call this the body of it with a little bloody nose. It's somewhat like a bloody nose, but it's covering the opening or the closing price of the day before, which sometimes means we could have a little pullback like that. Similar to like this guy here, we have a pullback. But I don't know if it's going to be how big it's going to be. The short-term stuff is kind of hard to read. We're right at this resistance line. We could see a little bit of a pullback before heading higher. Sideways move to pullback. But again, guys, it could rocket higher. The setup is for a move higher. Either way. Goviax, GVXXF. This one's pulling back a little bit, almost doing a return move to this support line. So we're doing a return move. Here's your return move. What do we do on return moves? I mean, it's self-explanatory. I buy return moves at the support line. This is a larger sell-off day today. So we'll see what tomorrow brings us. Hopefully we get a big wick on the bottom and you can get shares cheap or something like that. That's usually what I try doing, is picking them off at the bottom, making it a little bit fun. Global Atomic is still holding. It's a very small down day today, right on top of its support line. So that one looks excellent for a move higher, in my opinion. Sideways to higher. Forces Metals, a little small down day today. It's not a reversal candlestick or anything. We've got these big bullish engulfing candlesticks and then big momentum coming up. We're pausing a little bit before a move higher. So do we kind of pause like that and move? Yeah, we'll find out. Pure Point Uranium had a massive move yesterday, I think. It's like 14%. We've got a little bit of selling pressure up here. We've had selling pressure kind of before in this range up here. It's probably got a bunch of resistance all throughout, but it's still looking okay. Deep Yellow, just a small little update today. This is a bullish engulfing here. We've got some bullish candlesticks down here, all through here. It looks good. We've broken the pattern to the upside, that's downtrend line, so everything looks good. It's all intact. Paladin is trying to break its resistance line. We're right there trying to break out of it. We're just getting a little sticky. Sticky icky. Sky Harbor, it's right above this. I put that in there, the resistance area. Every time we come up here, we sell off. Is this time going to be different, where we come up into this region and break through it? We'll have to find out what the buyers have in store for us. Next Gen Energy, this is a bearish piercing pattern, but so is this one before. If the overall sector goes up, if money's flowing in, I think the outperformance to the upside will continue until it doesn't, until we hit a stopping force. So it depends what the other companies look like. This is a bearish engulfing. We could have a little bit of a pullback there. BSENF getting a little bit of a pullback, but everything looks okay. No reversal candlesticks or anything. Fission 3.0, this is a bearish engulfing. We could head lower or go sideways. We do have some buyers buying it up, though. That's what that wick on the bottom says. So, man, came up, came back, we bounced up, and is it going to go like this or something on the lines of that? We'll find out. Short term is always the hardest to read. Fission, uranium, this one's still looking okay. This is a bearish piercing pattern, but it's also got a wick on the bottom. So there were some sellers that sold off, but some buyers stepped in at the end of the day to push the closing price a little higher. Still looking okay. We'll see which way it goes, or if we'll get a pullback. This is a pullback candlestick, though, usually. Camco, we're getting a bearish engulfing here. Usually that's a pullback candlestick. Are we going to cycle back a little bit before heading higher? Are we going to come back and do a retest on that support line? We'll find out. Kazatomprom continues to sell off. Small little down day there. Pen MF just moving sideways. We're still above the downtrend line break. Boss Energy, right at the resistance line. We're seeing if we can break through that. Now, Consolidated Uranium is getting a little bit more of a sell-off here, guys. 10% down, but we're above the support line on the long term. So we'll see what happens. LTSR, this is Lotus Resources. We've broken to the upside here. Everything looks good with small little down days. Buyers are in control. UROY, MeRoy, we're all Roy. Downtrend line. Whoa, guys. There we go. Broken that guy out. Now we're hitting some resistance up here. This could go sideways for a little bit. Encore Energy, we're right at the support resistance line. We're heading back a little bit. This is what it looks like coming, from a big picture view. We're trying to break through this. They released some information yesterday about some private placement or whatever, raising money. You, me. Got the kids playing behind me. Well, on the stairs. We've got a small little update today. Small little update. Doesn't look too bad. Everything looks all right. URG, UR Energy. This is a big move, guys. We're probably going to see at least some sort of relaxed pullback here. UEC, Uranium Energy Corporation. We're right here trying to break this guy. We're at some resistance. It's moving sideways. LEU, right at the support line. This is where I would be looking for some potential shares. LTBR is continuing to rip it. That thing looks good. We're up almost, this is 560 all the way to 930. Big move there. Lots of leverage. ISO Energy throwing a bearish engulfing pattern where we could potentially go sideways to pull back. Appy Energy's breaking to the upside. That's where I like this one here a lot. A nice good break here for Appia. Denison Mines, kind of a bearish engulfing, so we had that move higher. I'm going to remove that, and we could potentially go sideways or have a pullback here in the short term. Blue Sky Uranium, just a small down day. It's not a reversal candlestick. Getting a little bit of wicks at the top, right at the support or resistance line. Forum Energy Metals, just a sideways small down day. Nothing really to worry about there. Anfield continues to move higher. We're breaking out of its long-term support resistance. So long-term resistance line, breaking to the upside. We've got Laramide. Laramide is right at the support area down here. So that one looks all right. Western Uranium, Vanadium, moving on up. Getting a little bit of contraction with the wick at the top. We could pull back or go sideways here. UEXCF, moving on up. I like that one. Looks good on a long-term perspective. Mega Uranium, just a small little down day, or sideways day, I should say. Still looks good to move on higher. ALXEF is a pullback. This is a little exploration company. Still looks good down here. I'd be looking at it down there. And then Azincourt Uranium On a long-term perspective, we're trying to break out of this. Actually, this looks really good for a big long-term break of this line here and a big move higher. I've got the kids playing behind me on the stairs. They're fighting with each other right now, but everything looks good, guys. Just we could have a small little short-term pullback here. We've had a monster run the past, I'd say, week. We got to digest those gains. Maybe we'll get a little soft. I mean, again, we might not. The short term is the hardest to read. So what I usually do is I revert to the big, long picture charts. Like this one behind me, Asian Corp. This one looks absolutely excellent. We've got low, higher. Oops. Oh, man. I want to pick this one. We've got a low, a higher low, a higher low, a higher low. We're going to break through this line here and then rocket higher. But it's stair steps in this pattern. So you guys can't be impatient. You have to just wait for it to work for you. And it may take a year or two or three for a big move. And we're getting very close to a break here. I highly doubt it's going to take that long, but we're in motion. The momentum's to the upside. So I would be patient if you're an owner. If you want to buy new shares, I'm looking for a little bit of a short-term pullback. I'll load up. Not really load up. I'm going to buy a little bit with whatever money I have left. If it pulls back a little bit in the donations portfolio, I'm waiting for a little bit of a pullback if we can get one. And then I'll buy some in there. If you guys like the content, give me a thumbs up. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. And thank you for listening. This is Finding Value.